What's up? It's been a very relaxing and very chill day. I have another mushroom like kombucha thingy. It's got the reishi, it's got the chaga, it's got the turkey tail, it's got stress relief, clear mind, uplifted mood. Uh and it's from where is this from? Beverly Hills, California. Not sure if I'll ever go to California. It's got black tea. It's got raw apple cider vinegar. It's got cold pressed apple juice, cold pressed lime juice, cinnamon, erythritol, cane sugar, vanilla extract. It's got the cola nut, the sea salt, the black pepper, the stevia leaf. It's a total freaking experience. And I'm the only person I know that likes it or buys it. Oh, it's like it's great too. It's called a mood balancing tonic. I feel like I have a very balanced mood generally, so I'm usually pretty chill. So shit's keep is going down still, to put it mildly. And these two chuckle fucks are guarding the fucking door to the Golden Land, which is just the afterlife at this point, I think. I don't really know. I'm really kind of struggling to understand where Umineko's going, and I know I've said it before, but I'm not sure how it's gonna end, because it seems like, at least subtextually, like, Angie's dead. Like, it feels like all of them are dead at this point, so I'm not really sure, like, how it matters. I knew kind of going in, a lot of people don't, like, I remember a lot of people telling me they rated episode 8 as like their least favorite. And like, it kind of worries me that this game just doesn't have a stellar ending. Oh well. Without love, it cannot be seen, so let's get to looking at this shit again. Let's get back to loving it so it can be seen. Shannon and Cannon stood guard in front of the door to the Golden Land. They glared quietly and fearlessly at the eerie fleet of ships across the horizon. Shannon slowly lifted her hands. Cannon raised his right hand and a red blade appeared there. Stop right there. I forbid you to come any closer. If you do, I'll kill you. They could see a single dinghy leaving the fleet and approaching them. Ooh, they're gonna parlay. Except this isn't a dinghy, this is like a whole ass boat. They couldn't tell if it was a messenger, or the first wave. Shannon and Cannon watched it cautiously. I love it. Never mind. Umineko episode 8 is actually everything I wanted it to be. This is such a fucking... I love this. They just put a fucking goofy pirate hat on her. Of course they fucking did. I love this. Alright, say Räuber Erika. At the head of the dinghy rowed by goats stood Erika. I imagine it's like Jack Sparrow in the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie where the boat is like slowly sinking and she's just standing there like proudly on the bow or whatever it's called. Like that's what I imagine this being like. Where the heck did she get that thing from? Maybe she's trying to act the part of the fleet's leader. Erika was glaring at them and smiling aggressively, with what appeared to be a pirate hat on her head. I've come to deliver our terms. There will be no room for negotiation. Please open the gate. Shannon and Cannon looked at each other. Erika was the one offering this deal. It wasn't likely to be anything agreeable. Yeah, they fucking get it. They do have plot continuation understanding bullshit, so they get it. However, if they turned her away, the attack would probably begin at once. Since they were in a firmly inferior position, they wanted to buy time by any means they could. At Shannon's nod, Cannon erased his sword. They switched places. Golden Land was filled with a hard downpour, accompanied by occasional thunder. Erica, who realized that this weather spoke for their emotions, smiled even more boldly. At the center of the Golden Land was the arbor surrounded by the rose garden. A large number of humans and illusions were there, arguing about something. That is a nightmare blood rotation. Even without asking, it was easy to guess the nature of the debate by their anguished expressions. After all, in this life or death situation, they didn't have many options they could take. In the direction Erica was being led, Beato stood waiting, accompanied by the Cheester sister corps. Ooh, okay. I will, Eric. Beato followed suit and gave a graceful bow of the sort that was rarely seen from her. Watching Beatrice, like, get her fucking shit back together was so fun. As though implying that she was more than happy to go through with this farce, Beato introduced herself boldly and requested that Erica do the same. That's been my favorite part of this episode. Famous book lover Furudo Erica, who loves books for honest and wholesome reasons that aren't, like, for her, like, weird brain fetish or whatever. I keep getting the same notifications for the same news. Oh.
それは名誉なことである。このゲーム版は非常に興味深く、かつ独創的で研究価値の高いものです。すべての市民に公開される価値のあるものです。
Little did they know, nobody actually reads Umineko. Nobody wants to. Everybody I tell will read Umineko says no.
よって図書の都は我らにこのゲーム版に永遠の名誉と保護を与えることを命ぜられました。くどいし長い。とっとと本題を。
Ooh. But then read. Yeah, One Piece is apparently it's okay, but Umineko, which is about, like, which is definitely a little more narratively complex and requiring of someone than One Piece. I don't know. Boo, fuck the city of books, fuck the library of Babel, fuck that shit. I've never even watched One Piece.
我々はあなたに対し全ての市民の権利と利益を保護するため攻撃を開始することを通告します。
その攻撃で市民の共有財産が破壊されるのは構わぬのだ。
Nah, she doesn't care, dog.
名誉図書保護法の規定により名誉文化史的独占を犯す犯罪者がこれを盾に籠城を試みる場合、執行官隊は大法院の許可を持って保護より逮捕を優先することが許されます。もちろんすでに大法院の許可状はこちらにございます。
Fuck the Great Court. Who gives a shit about the Great Court?
ついでにその逮捕は生死を問わぬと書いてありそうだな。
おや、よくこんな小さい文字が読めますね。では茶番は以上です。ぶっちゃけどうします？
I freaking hate her douchey hat.
そなたの要求を飲むとどのような利点があるという。
お互い無駄な仕事をしなくて済みます。そしてあなたの勇敢にして名誉ある行為は図書の都にて誉れ高く終章に記されるでしょう。分かってますよね。あなたは絶対勝てません。
I. God. I hate Erica. She's the worst freaking human
これ
being.
は戦いでさえない。井戸の底で上を見上げるあなたに石をぶつけるだけの一方的なものなのですから。
Ugh.
わらわに選べるのは図書館の魔女たちがわらわの最後をいかに記すかだけというわけ。
Ooh.
あとはあなた次第です。もしあなたがこのゲーム版を愛おしく思うなら降伏すべきです。
Yeah,
駒たちは末
totally.
永く大勢の市民に愛されその役目を永遠に続けることができるでしょう。
つまりは好き放題に生み出した惨劇を永遠に繰り返すということか。
Or even just like the general public who doesn't really always read things for like intellectual purposes. Or people who just want to take a piece of fiction and kind of just like spring their own like bullshit headcanon into it for no reason.
「あんたがしてきたことと何か違いが？
Kill Eric.
ない。以上か。ならばわらわの答えを聞か
This
せ
gonna go hard.
どうぞ。
Erica tensed slightly. After all, this was the great lady Beatrice she was dealing with. She might shout, "Here is my answer," dramatically, and do something crazy. They say a cornered rat is most likely to bite a cat. Furthermore, Erica had intel telling her that the great lady Lambda Delta, Witch of the Senate, had been spending her time inside the Golden Land, though only as a theater goer. Erica needed to carry out this noble task that her master had assigned her, and she had to carry it out perfectly. If she was honest, she wanted to make Beato raise a white flag, even by trickery if necessary. So, even though this was a farce, she held back from giving any unneeded provocation. She gulped and tried to size Beato up. And then, with a pathetic expression on her face, Beato let out a sigh.
素直に言う。わらわはもう 疲れた。
それはどういう意味です？
わらわのゲームはバトラとの戦いを終えた時点ですでにその目的を終えている。なのにその後の都合で何度もゲームが繰り返された。
3 times, I think.
わらわは正直もう疲れている。
正直全く想像していないお返事でした。では降伏なさると？
No, she's gonna say nope.
本気で？
ぶっちゃけるとどっちでも
Oh, I
いい。
don't care? Huh.
降伏でもそなたらに討ち取られるのでもどっちでもよい。
Or whether you win.
わらわは誰の手であっても構わぬからこのゲーム版とその物語が幕を下ろすことを望んでいる。
Of course, that was a lie. She knew she couldn't win even if she fought. For now, their best option was to play for time. They would fix Erica's attention to this spot, and during that time, Battler and the others would steal the key from Burncastle while she was completely off her guard. Once they had the key, they would return to the Golden Land, use that key to let Angie open the door to the future and see her off. That was their goal line. Everything that happened after that would be inside the cat box. Angie would live on into the future with hope. No one would know whether Beato and the others were alive or dead. That was enough. The only strategy Beato and the others could use to achieve this was to buy time.
降伏してくれるなら拍子抜けではありますが、私も手間が省けて助かります。
Erica's so fucking lazy, dog. She's fucking lazy.
ところがそのだなここだけの話なのだが、そなたも存じておろうが大ラムダデルタ教がご滞在されている。今日は我らにドラマチックなクライマックスを提供せよとな、そのわがままを申され。
Beatrice dropping an is so unlike her.
それはひどいわがままですね。10万の兵力を要する我が艦隊にすでに解き終えたパズルみたいな絞りかすのあんたたちがほんの数十人でどう抵抗させようというのです？
そうなのだそうなのだ。戦力差は圧倒的。戦いにさえならぬと我らは言っておるのだがな。そのラムダデルタ教が彼女の友人たちを集めて共闘するから徹底抗戦せよと言って聞かぬのだ。
Ooh.
ラムダデルタ教の
I didn't think she would have friends. Unlike Burncastle, who kept to herself, what? Lambda Delta had many friends? Her friends and patrons were either territory lords of great influence who came from all over the place, or else monsters that had become legends in their own lifetimes. In all seriousness, her so-called fan club had enough size and influence that it could have suddenly declared itself a separate country in the Sea of Fragments without anyone being overly surprised. Never mind, I guess I misread her.
困ったことにラムダデルタ教はやる気満々でな。さっきから勝手に各地に電話を繰り返し友人知人を呼びつけておるのだ。
Of course, this was all a lie. Lambda Delta had turned into a small candy comet and was now shooting towards the city of books with Battler and Angie in tow. Oh wait, that was one detail that really fucked with me, that I really didn't know how to deal with, was the fact that they both somehow had tickets to the city of books. The party in the city of books, rather. And that was like a big question that I had at the end of my last stream is like, well, how did they have 2 tickets? So to make sure that Lambda Delta and Battler's absences were not noticed, everyone was crowded around the arbor, pretending to argue furiously with each other.
バトラ様、ご決断を。我ら煉獄の七
Oh
姉
my
妹、
god.
いつでも死ぬ覚悟はできております。
玉砕には反対だ。死んで咲く果実などありま
That's
せ
true,
ん。
that would make sense.
あなたは腰抜けです。生きて旅衆の恥ずかしめを受けるなど考えられません。
生きてこそチャンスを待てることもあります。
そうですとも。短期は損期とも申します。
マトラ、男ならバシッと決めろい。
God, I'm so not used to hearing Rudolph's real voice. There's a couple of characters I've so seldom ever heard voice.
大ラムダデルタ様が力を貸してくれるってんだろう。
どうかんや。
Oh my god.
男には決断の時があるんやで。
決断は選んだ内容よりも選んだ時を称賛されることもございます。
降伏すれば乱暴はしないかも。
Aw, Sakutaro.
そんなことあるわけないわよ。あんたそれでもオスらよ。
Oh my god, why are you being mean to Sakutaro?
キバはどこに行ったのよ。
What the fuck? That's pissing me off.
どうせ死ぬなら豚としてでなく狼として死にたい。
あんたバカ。そういうのを犬死にって言うのよ。
ラムダデルタさんの呼び寄せる援軍の力次第ですな。
This is so weird.
本当にあなたのお友達はあいつらに勝てるだけの力があるの？
賭けね。降伏して死ぬか、賭けに出て敗れて死ぬか。
You gotta. That's what the magic is. When you put shit on the line, that's what fucking magic is.
あ
Ara, ara.
ら、
Okay.
なら賭けに出た方が生き残れる可能性は高いってことになるわ。
Okay, Kyrie, we see you.
大本院は名誉ある幸福には慈悲を与えるでしょう。
バッカー元老院だろ。
Hi, Delanor.
どうせなんだかんだ言って全員断頭台に決まったら。
とにかく皆さん冷静に。頭を冷やしましょう。私はことを荒立てることには反対です。
君こそ冷静になるべきじゃないかい。
Yeah. That's dangerous.
相互確証破壊という戦略もある。
You're gonna get feral, Eric. Be careful. Yeah, see, George will like. I feel like if you were a Minecraft mob, Eric, I feel like I could use like fucking what's his name? Willard as like an item that would attract you, and George would like repel the fuck out of you. If that makes any sense. Ooh, attack George over all other priorities. That's very noble of you. I just don't... Is there a single fragment where, like, George just isn't, like, a huge douche? I don't think it exists. I'm just convinced he's just a huge douche. He's just weird.
仮に勝てないん
Mutually
ですよ。
assured destruction.
こちらもただで済ます気はないという戦略は
Fragment where he drowns on the way over. Do we really need all this fake arguing?
そっちがやる気ならこっちもただじゃ死なねえぜってこ
They're
と
not
だ
even.
ぜ。
They just said 5 minutes ago that these people aren't really arguing. They're just like doing it to fuck with like Erica.
ラムダデルタの友達はみんなすごいよ。みんなすごい伝説と武勇伝を持つすっごい魔女や怪物、
She's gonna bring in
悪魔
like
や神様がいっぱい
Grendel
なんだ
and
から。
shit. It's so weird.
あんな
It's
大
kind
き
of
な
funny
星と同
almost.
じ数を並べていたって一息で吹き飛ばしてしまうよ。
Because at this point, we're just so used to like having clearly just separated like narrative layers in Umineko, but now it's all just like whatever. It's all balls to the walls crazy. Oh, that's a great analogy. Actors offset. I love that.
大丈夫でしょうか。
Yeah, Goda, it'll all be super
私
fucking
たちの
chill.
演技蹴取られないでしょうか。
Shut the fuck up, Goda! Shut the fuck up! Don't even say that shit!
問題ない。
Come on, don't even entertain that shit, Genji. Just tell him to be quiet. Because Goda could definitely fuck this up.
お前ももっと語気を強めて喋るのだ。
Yeah. I think that would work fine.
無礼講に行け。腰抜けどもめ。
Oh my god, fucking Dub Kinzo. Sub Kinzo is crazy. That's not what I imagined him sounding like.
最後に一花咲かせてやろうという気概はないのか。
Oh, I like mine more.
ちょっとお待ちください。
Where did my vitamin D pills go? This is fucked up. I just had them. Oh wait, here they are.
戦いを望まぬ者がいることもお忘れなく。
Shut the fuck up, Goda. Goda, you're not good at this. Just stop.
私は降
Just
参が良いかと思いま
shut
す。
your trap. I don't know what to say.
何？
What the fuck?
こうだ！この敗北主義じゃめ！
I think this is actually maybe why I know. I'm worried I laugh at the goofy shit too much.
痛い親方様。
Shut the fuck up, Go! He's actually gonna fucking ruin it for everybody.
さあさあ議論も盛り上が
Go
って
down
き
as
た
a
ね。
toupee? That would be fucking crazy. He literally was about to snatch Goda's weave. What the fuck?
私たちは幸福かしら、当選かしら、どうなのかしら。
I love when they do
それは
this shit.
誰にもわからない。
個人的にはわらわは幸福を望んでいる。どうせ役目を終えるのなら
What was my
せめ
last?
て自分が生み出したこのゲーム版はそのままに保存されることを望む。
I think I bought too much vitamin D. I bought the 1,000 units last time. This time I bought the 10,000 units. So this is like 10 times the amount.
もうこれ以上わらわのゲーム版を
Maybe I should
ラ
be
ムダデル
careful
タ
with
教に好
this.
き放題されるのはごめんなのでな。
I think I went a little too crazy.
ちらこそごめんです。
They're like the little gel pills, yeah. So I can't really like slice them up either. I just wanted to be like the most cost effective. Fuck it. I think I'll just take one like every couple days instead of one a day. Secretly, Erica was getting worried by these complicated developments, and she was relieved that she hadn't pushed them too hard earlier on. Also, I'm gonna go back to my voice. Yeah, I just have like a vitamin D deficiency. I feel like most people do, though. She wanted to flatter Beato and end this with a bloodless takeover. Even the great Lady Lambda Delta probably wouldn't seriously think of picking a fight with the Senate. Her motives were probably something much more trivial, a simple desire to watch the game board's final fireworks from a front row seat. However, if she really did have some fireworks of her own prepared, it was at least possible that this could turn into a ruckus that Erica would have no chance of quelling. Beato saw all of this going on in Erica's mind, so she continued to act with an even more pathetic expression on her face. Even among witches, her acting ability was top-notch. Might you be willing to lend us some of your strength, so that my game board's beauty will be preserved? Truly, it was a great error to invite that busybody as a guest. I understand. I'd like to end this quietly too, if I can. When Beato goes back to discuss... Okay, I will. So, how can we work together? For some time now, we have been arguing over whether we should surrender or resist. I intend to return to them and propose that we surrender and ask Lady Lambda Delta not to do anything that might destroy the game board. That would please me very much. So, what should I do? I would like you to guarantee that we have the necessary time to debate the matter. After all, your ships are surrounding and pressuring us at the moment. Everyone is so tense at the thought that we may be attacked at any time that they're falling apart. So, if you guarantee that we will have enough time to discuss this amongst ourselves, everyone will surely be able to keep their composure during that time. Furthermore, I will have enough time to convince Lady Lambda Delta. Very well. About how long do you need? Would you be so gracious and avoid giving a specific time limit? If a time limit is imposed, everyone will just fall apart again as the limit nears, possibly leading to a more radical decision. You have a point there. The most important thing about a fuse is whether it's lit or not. The length of a fuse is a trivial matter. In that case, will you give us the time we need? Understood. I guarantee that you'll have time to discuss it. However, that time won't be unlimited. I'll wait here and listen in on your discussion. Well, as far as that goes, it is true that your mere presence here has everyone on edge. I have already made my concessions. Is it your turn now? Isn't it your turn now? They were some distance away from the arbor, but it was just close enough to give a general idea of what was going on. It was far enough that they just might be able to hide the fact that Battler and Lambda Delta were missing. Just far enough for them to convincingly act like this was a white-hot argument in gridlock. If it were possible, they would have rather kept Erica at an even greater distance. They had planned to set up a seat of honor for their guest at one of the far corners of the garden maze. Is there some sort of problem? Okay. Don't make such a scary face. In that case, please wait here. This is, confidential conference. So, you must, Come no closer than this line. Beato drew a line in the ground with her foot. Help them see me in a good light. If it's clear that I have obtained a generous agreement from you, that will be a powerful weapon in my hands in the debate. Can I get a chair? Yes, of course. Chiefs troops, bring Lady Erica a chair and an umbrella at once. And a hand towel, too. I'll wipe it nice and clean for you. That's what I'm talking about. Ooh, look at that little fucking grin from fucking Beatrice. They thought they could hide that from me. Milady, have there been any developments in our negotiations? Well, if anything's for certain, it's that I'll be winning this year's prize for Best Actress. That's our Beatrice-sama. Oh, wait. Oh, I fucked it up. Did I skip it? Fuck. Okay, it's chill. Okay, we're gonna keep it on. All we... Okay, keep it off. Okay. All we can do is argue fiercely, squabble amongst ourselves, and make it look like things will turn for the worse if negotiations break down.
Indeed. This is yet another fight to support Battler's group. Get yourselves ready, everyone. Let us argue and insult with all we have. Got it? Except you, Goda. Shut the fuck up.
Yes, master. The sight of Goda, his cheek red and swollen from being pinched, made everyone snort. But they quickly covered their mouths and put fingers to their lips. Yeah, he shouldn't even fucking talk. He's such a spoiler. He's gonna ruin it. Then everyone nodded at each other and the fake argument resumed. Erica was sitting in the chair that the Cheester sisters had brought her, filling a goat in on the details of their discussions. The goats would probably return and tell the rest of the fleet. The fleet would tell Berncastle, and Berncastle might think of some plan to deal with the situation or give new orders. The conversation with the goat ended and it spun around. It would return to the dinghy and report on this to the fleet. It slipped out from a rose bush and passed through the garden maze, heading towards the door that led it outside. Ooh, are they gonna take this goat out before it can convey the message? Is it really okay to let that goat reach the boats? If it goes back, Erica's report will reach Berncastle's ears. The Cheester sisters spoke through a secret channel that only they could use. 2 seconds, yeah. Won't even be a sound. Yeah. It's just about to leave Erica's sphere of awareness. Estimated 10 seconds before it reaches the goat, boat, and then sphere, so assassination can be carried out successfully.
Lady Beatrice, your permission to assassinate, if you please. We can do it. Erica will sense nothing.
You do not have permission. Did you think an envoy would leave their ship without setting a time limit? The fleet probably has orders to attack if it isn't contacted within a certain period of time. Let that goat go.
00, understood.
Yeah, she's getting Best Actress. Worst Actor? Oh, 100% agreed. The goat passed through the door. Then, after receiving a silent bow from Shannon and Cannon, it got on the dinghy and returned on to the fleet. The fleet would probably follow Erica's orders and stand by until an attack order was given. That gave the residents of the Golden Land a chance to assassinate Erica. But, of course, that wasn't going to be possible, practically speaking. She was Berncastle's greatest underling, and a witch who controlled truth. Tricking her was all they could hope for. Anything else would be overconfident. Why don't you all have a seat, too?
You need have no worries about us.
Without any hint that she had just been talking about assassinations, 00 stood upright with her hands clasped behind her back. Oh, there's Gap. Surrender, or resist until the end. The false argument resumed. I feel like there's a slight callback. I'm getting like... It's almost like whenever the Italians came to Rokkenjima with the gold, and there was like the two different parties, the Italians and the Japanese, and they were all arguing about what to do with the gold. That's kind of what this reminds me of, really. But Kinzo's the one that kind of fucked everything up. Just how far and how long would they be able to trick Erika? Yes, the final fight for the Golden Land had already begun. Battler, you can count on us to handle things here. It's time for you and Angie to take this final game back. I still can't find my fucking chapstick, and it's really fucking pissing me off. My lips are so fucking dry. It's fucked. Is it on here? Oh wait, there it is. Fuck, I found my chapstick. It's not supposed to be there. This is one freakishly huge library. Yeah, Battler, haven't you read The Library of Babel by, what's his name? Borgia? But who was that? The Library of Babel. Borges. Seeing this scene made me like reread the short story too, so I'm very in it right now. I've heard that each one of these books has a tale like ours inside it. After all, this is a world of gods. You can tell at a glance that it's no place for scum like you to be in, right? After passing through the barrier, the three of them had finally made it inside the city of books. For some time, they were overcome by the countless otherworldly sights before them, but they quickly remembered their original objective. Get the fucking key. Are you listening? First off, don't get the wrong idea. Yoto came here to fight Burn. But that doesn't mean walking up to her and attacking her directly, okay? We know. In the first place, you were only able to fight the Great Beatrice on an even footing because the game board protected you with rules that made it that way. Ooh. If you leave the game board, you're more like something that'll leave a small stain on her palm when she swats you. Swats you. Don't forget that. Got it? Makes sense. This isn't the game board we're familiar with. We didn't come here to fight. We came here to take something back with us. Exactly. You're here to prevent the Book of the Single Truth from being exposed to the public. That's your only goal, your only fight. Yeah, I think that's super cool too. They like super respect her story abilities, but elsewise she's like super whatever. You'd better not be confused about that. Battler and Angie nodded to show their understanding. No, I want more Lambda. Yes, the Book of the Single Truth itself is being displayed openly in the middle of the party, so stealing that'll be impossible. However, bringing in the key is going to be a big part of the ceremony, which means the key must be stored in a different place. But there's no guarantee that it'll be undefended. After that, it's all up to your luck. I hope it's good, for your sakes. Hey, hi! Lambda Delta pulled her head back from around a corner of a bookshelf. The others hurriedly followed suit. In the distance, they saw emerald green lights floating about and leaving trails. That is so creepy. Those are Burn's cat familiars. She's got them patrolling all over the place today.
Did she guess that we would come?
No, don't forget how huge this place is. Those are staff cats out looking for idiot guests who've gotten lost so they can be taken to the lost children area.
And that's not where we want to go at the moment. If it looks like one's about to find us, should we take them out?
I'd advise against it. Maybe if this were some other territory or game board. But this is Burns' home base. That single cat could make you as scared as being surrounded by a crowd of vicious beasts. Plus, they're cats. They got good senses and they'll call for their friends. If they spot you, you'd better be prepared for what happens next. I'm not going to save you. Just getting you here has been troublesome enough. If I surrender, I might get off the hook with being stripped naked and thrown into the worst sort of crappy fragments for just a century. How wonderful. I think I can sympathize with Burns' feelings a bit now.
Lambda Delta wasn't laughing. Okay. Most likely even this punishment she spoke of was pretty optimistic. Even though she keeps saying that she won't help anymore, she's already risking everything. Why?
Isn't it obvious?
Lambda Delta brushed her hair back and grinned.
It's because you're gonna show me the perfect happy ending.
Lambda Delta hugged their heads at the same time, making their foreheads bonk together. I was about to say, Eric, I love this. I knew. God, I love Lambda. Lambda is so fun. These really come together.
You'd better show me, for certain.
Yeah, we'll certainly show you a happy ending. We'll certainly take this cat box back.
Let's go. This way. Swim quietly.
This is so fun. The three of them swam out into the darkness of the deep ocean trench that was the City of Books. In that massive, vast trench of bookshelves, they vanished into the darkness almost immediately. I just like the music this episode. It's been awesome. The library defied the common sense of the human world. The City of Books. The word city was no exaggeration, and it was filled with the green, glowing eyes of Burncastle's countless cat familiars. Trying to count them would be almost as crazy as counting all the fish in the ocean. They formed schools that swam all over the place, on the lookout for any fools who might miraculously have managed to slip in and disturb their master's party. Ooh. It's totally different, which is interesting. If Battler's group was found, the cats would report it instantly. They would probably form a pack, open their large mouths and swallow them in a single gulp. There would be no fight. In this place, Battler's party would be swallowed like tiny fishes if they were discovered. The warships surrounding the Golden Land were well more than 100 strong. Each of them had dozens of cannons pointing at the door to the Golden Land. The goats that packed the decks of the ships numbered in the tens of thousands. Each one of them carried enough anti-magic toxin in their fangs to completely deny one of the game board's pieces. This time, they would chew apart and eat away at everything. The crowd of goats unleashed their rotten breath and dangling drool. At that time, Erica,
who wanted to avoid trouble and hoped Beato would be able to convince Lambda Delta to surrender peacefully, was sitting alone, calmly enjoying the tea Ronave had poured for her. Of course, even Erika wasn't ready for the fact that Ronave put laxatives in the fucking tea. Cause he's an asshole. I don't know. Why don't they do that? What the fuck? I don't know. Why not just prank the shit out of her? In her mind, she'd already decided to allow them 3 yawns before stepping in. That's very arbitrary. This actually isn't so bad. Getting to watch Beato try and convince everyone as they call her a coward and a loser. Indeed, it is impressive that our short-tempered mistress has managed to become such an adult. Boo-goo-goo-goo. What's so funny? Oh, pardon me. Are you ready for another cup? Please feel free to enjoy our collection of great teas from across the globe at your leisure. Is she gonna get tired if she keeps drinking tea, though? Is she gonna yawn? Lambda is leading Beato's side into an all-out resistance. And she's gathering her friends. Is this a joke? The messenger cat shook its head and continued to dispassionately meow its report. That is true. Black tea is caffeinated. That's why I always drink it on my tea parties. By the way, I don't know when the end of Umineko is, but that's probably gonna be the final tea party. Oh, what is the music doing? Oh, that's cool. Even Lambda isn't that stupid. She should know what it means to have Ow Ow as her enemy. Even as she said this, Berncastle was chewing away at her thumbnail. Ooh, she's anxious. Despite how she looks, the kid has a lot of strange friends. They're all idly curious, crazy monsters. Even so, to pick up arms against the Senate. Yeah, we can just do shots, smoke packs. It'll be a good time. It'll be rad. We'll just like start taking amphetamines. It'll be a whole thing. I'll be like doubling my dose of magnesium. I'll be quadrupling my dose of magnesium, actually. That's very Disco Elysium. Ooh, the barbiturates. Okay. Was possible. She could think of many monsters among Lambda Delta's friends who would love to see a losing side gain support and make a comeback victory. Before she realized it, the finger Berncastle was biting was covered with sweat. Fuck. She could. She really is a moron sometimes after all. Get me a phone, quickly. The cat leapt away, then flew back with a phone and receiver. I'm going to call up her friends. I have to warn you not to get involved in this stupid game. Phone numbers. Why don't I have any phone numbers saved in here? Oh, right, I have no friends. Yeah. How are you supposed to greet people over the phone? Does hello work? Meow. Oh my fucking god. The golden key was being kept in a room inside the City of Books. However, perhaps room wasn't a fitting word to use. It was large enough that you could probably fit 2 domed baseball stadiums in it if you tried. Even so, these were called rooms. Floating in the center of this vast room were several sacred magic circles. Green butterflies? What the fuck? Wrapped around they were green for a second. Wrapped around by these magic circles was Angie's gold key. Surrounding these were countless emerald green stars, which looked like a slowly revolving planetarium. The eyes that numbered the same as the stars were all glaring in the same direction. Come on, don't look at me like that. I'm on your side, did you forget? One of the cats paddled towards Ava, meowing that no one was allowed to enter this room. Lady Burncastle has ordered me to guard that key, so why don't you leave this to me and get this? After looking at each other with suspicious eyes, the cats glared at Ava again, as though saying that they hadn't heard any such order. By the way, cats have pretty soft bodies, don't they? Makes them much easier to chew. Ava lifted up her golden staff, and the floor and ceiling of the vast room were covered with red lines. The reaction from the cats was lightning fast. They realized instantly that this was hostile behavior. The entire emerald green constellation writhed and became a single, massive, deep-sea fish, which charged at Ava with its cavernous mouth open wide. However, at the same time, the red lines on the floor and ceiling, the massive spiderweb, pinched itself together and crushed the fish, twisted it, spun it around and around, compressed it into the size of a small ball. Then, that ball-shaped thing burst open, leaving nothing behind, or left. It all happened in an instant. If only you'd just give up and die. Why? The witch hunters were holding a convention in the event hall. After all, when Ushira Mia Ava's diary was opened, the endless cat box would be lost, along with the countless imagined stories that entertained them for so long. So, this final conversation was a time for them to air their best theories one last time. While the opening of the cat box did give them a slightly lonely feeling, they couldn't contain their excitement as intellectual rapists. Now, when they knew that the Rokkenjima mystery was finally going to be solved, once and for all. If that box were opened, a single girl would be hurt. However, their jaws and fangs couldn't care less. The witch-hunting goat nobles kept licking their lips, wanting to chew apart the guts of Beatrice's cat box as soon as they could. Seated upon a solemn throne so tall it looked like a pillar, Featherine listened in on the nonsense being spewed from the mouths of the goat nobles. A black cat wearing a cape silently appeared and whispered something into Featherine's ear. No, that is fine. Everything is going according to my plot. You need not inform my Seems like Feathery has her own shit going. The cat bowed humbly and vanished. Also, there was that whole thing last time about, like, Angie being Hachijo Toya, and Hachijo Toya actually being Hachijo Ikuko. It was a whole fucking thing, and I'm not sure how to make of it, what to make of it, blah blah. Featherine raised her wine glass high and laughed as she looked through it to the light of the chandelier, which was as beautiful and majestic as the moon. This should be enough to thank you for your excellent reading, child of man. Well now, just who is weaving this tale? Am I for you, or are you for me? What do you think? A trap? As Battler's group moved forward, darting from bookshelf to bookshelf and avoiding the eyes of the cats, they found something strange. Written with a faintly glowing red substance was a letter and an arrow. K arrow. What does that mean? K? Key! Oh. That's what it looks like to them. Do you think K means key? Those marks only appeared when we got close. This is a message aimed at us. Is there anyone here besides us who would be willing to help? I didn't think we had any allies. Angie traced the red arrow with her finger. It was written with very faint, thin strings that had been tied together. This red stuff, which stuck to your finger and tore away like cotton candy, had to be. There is someone on our side. Someone who's always been on my side. How can you be so sure? Yeah, I wouldn't be so sure. I really don't trust Ava Beatrice, but whatever, Angie. That's your problem. Yeah, I get it now. Lambda, we can trust the person who wrote this. She'll probably be able to guide us to the key safely. Are you sure? Then let's go! We don't have time to be standing around. Thank you, Mom. In the arbor, the argument over whether they should surrender or fight continued without signs of stopping. Every now and then, a small fight would break out, which fortunately ended up delaying Erica's third yawn. However, they didn't know how long they would have to continue this fake fight. Keeping this high level of tension going was physically stressful. The instant they tired out and the tension faded, Erica would probably demand a verdict. They had to constantly appear to be trapped and agitated. It was a battle of weariness and tension. This was their fight. Erica waited patiently. Now that she had tired of tea, she was watching Ronove perform some magic tricks and seemed to be enjoying herself considerably. Even Ronove, who was usually aloof from the world, was fighting. If Erica got bored and had a tantrum, an all-out attack would probably begin at once. He was also putting his life on the line in the fight to buy some time for Battler's group. As the fiercest leader in the argument, Beato wore out the quickest. She breathed heavily, and her face was so pale, it seemed she might faint at any moment. Beato, hang in there. Your body won't hold out much longer at this rate. Pretend to suddenly burst into tears and rest for a while. We'll pick up the slack. I am still fine. I can do this. Just one more push. Let's go. So, who's up next? Who wants to be beaten down first? In that case, I, Goda, am prepared. We must fight. It would be outrageous to accept defeat without fighting. As I've said from the beginning, fighting with all we have is the only option. Hold on a second. Erica suddenly rose from her chair. Ronove, this is where she figured it out. She figured it out. Goda fucked it all up. Ronove tried to coax her back into her seat, but Erica's attention was completely focused on those arguing under the arbor. I am the detective. My memory of what I hear is as good as a recording. We are aware of that, of course. You are quite an excellent detective, after all. I'm not interested in you. Goda-san, I have one question for you.
Yes, ma'am. Have I done something to cause offense?
Hold on. Don't forget that some of us are opposed to fighting. I think we should surrender. Those were the first words I heard from you when I arrived here. However, you just said this. We must fight. It would be outrageous to accept defeat without fighting. As I've said from the beginning, fighting with all we have is the only option. That's what you said.
Well, did I say that?
It is hardly strange for an opinion to change in the course of a discussion.
Indeed, all of us have been feeling doubts about our position lately, so an occasional change of opinion wouldn't be...
No. From beginning to end, no one has changed their opinion in this argument. Just now, Goda-san alone flipped his position 180 degrees. Furthermore, I can't imagine that any of the statements made by the rest of you were sufficient enough to make Goda-san switch his position. An uncomfortable, moist wind blew by. Everyone was silent, frozen as though time had stopped. In that silence, Erika continued with a blank expression. This can lead us to two conclusions. First, it may be that Goda-san has no opinion and is just a loser who will say anything that goes with the flow. Second, it may be that none of you has an opinion and that this entire argument exists only for its own sake. Aren't you overthinking this a bit? Here we are in a desperate debate that will decide our fate. I hardly think it's strange that some people would act abnormally under such pressure. The only reason for prolonging a meaningless argument is to buy time. Do you have anything to gain by buying time? Is it because Lady Lambda Delta's reinforcements will come? That can't be true either. After all, for some time now, I have heard all of you speak to Lady Lambda Delta and Battler occasionally, but not once have I heard them reply. Taking all this into account, we are left with only one conclusion. That Lady Lambda Delta and Battler are not here now. And with these people, in that these people have won Lady Lambda Delta's assistance, with Lady Lambda Delta and Battler probably planning to sneak into the City of Books. In which case, their goal is probably to steal back the Golden Key and Angie. And your plan was to act as bait and buy time until their mission was complete. But because of Goda-san's poorly chosen lie, this level of reasoning is possible for Furudo Erika. What do you think, everyone? With a blank yet ruthless expression, Erika spoke these words and returned to her seat. Everyone else was frozen, unable to move. No one spoke. However, time was moving. As evidence, a bead of sweat dripped down someone's cheek, fell, and hit the table with a tiny yet audible splat. She definitely is in it for the love of the game. Oh my god! They just tried to fuck her up. Then, frozen time shattered, and in the same instant, the white chair Erika had been sitting in broke apart. The stakes of the Seven Sisters of Purgatory and the high-velocity rounds from the Chester Sister Corps hit the chair at exactly the same time. In a few moments after that, with Erika sitting in that chair, faded and vanished. After image. She's fast! Kill her! In an what the fuck is Erika at this point? She's like a fucking cartoon character, dog. Yeah, here I am with my pirate hat and huge scythe. And, it's all chill. She's the detective. In an instant, Erika had moved to a spot behind the chair. Her expression remained as blank as it had been before. However, there was now something in her hand that hadn't been there. As the 7 lightning strikes, the 7 sisters raced at her once more as she battled all of them away with her scythe. That was one hell of a farce. But the tea was good. Thanks for the meal. Well now, it seems that you've all been in agreement since the start. Allow me to ask for your answer once again. Erica lifted her left hand, the one that wasn't holding the scythe. Very well, allow me to answer. This golden land belongs to me, to all of us. If you enter with your shoes on, we'll give you a proper welcome. In other words, to put it elegantly, all cannons, prepare to fire. Target the golden land. Wash your face in miso soup. Shoot 'em dead. Ooh. Yes, thank you. See you around. Meow. Is that really how freaking Bird ends her phone calls? I love that. Berncastle set down the receiver and crossed out yet another name on a list of Lambda Delta's notable friends. Something was wrong. Not a single person she called had earned anything from Lambda Delta. They weren't just playing dumb. They really knew nothing about the strange ruckus Lambda Delta was trying to stir up. Even Berncastle was starting to suspect that something was fishy. Sherlock Holmes had a hat, and his trusty scythe. The Sherlock Holmes scythe. He did have a hat. He just had like a deer stalker, so it was chill as hell. Then, a black cat leapt in and meowed a frantic report. Lambda and Battler aren't in Golden Land? She tore the phone receiver from its stand. The number she dialed was short. It was probably an internal line. However, after listening to it ring several times, she slammed the receiver down again and finally managed to break the phone. Gather all the cats who aren't busy. This is an emergency. The cats I had guarding the key aren't responding. Berncastle, overwhelmed with emotion, kicked the table over. Then the room finally grew bright. It was like green sunlight. A bright green light waved about, giving the illusion that a green sun was rising and lighting the room up. It was a sign that Berncastle's army had been given an emergency summons. Come, my kitties. This dress looks huge on her, like when it's like in this art. It looks like it's way too fucking big. It looks like she's like just wearing a big fucking paper sack. I love it. It's time for a witch hunt. That kid always smells like candy, so you'll find her pretty fast. The first cat who finds her gets a human form and a witch's type. What was now an emerald green nebula let out a roar of delight that shook the bookshelf cliff. She's 3 apples tall! She's a fucking smurf! Something's chasing us. What is that? Green sun? Hide! They know! The 3 of them frantically hid behind a bookshelf. The room with the key in it was straight ahead. They could see something glinting faintly in the darkness of that room. It was a glint different from anything else they had seen so far in this city. The color of the glint was gold. They had almost reached the golden key. However, if they went towards it, Berncastle would be right behind them, along with her vast swarm of familiars. In other words, they were trapped in a dead end. They already knew that the emerald green color came from the eyes of the familiars. However, was almost beyond comprehension that this undulating green sun could be the same thing. And they could do nothing except stare in wide-eyed shock. The countless cats were passing through the ravine of bookshelves from the very top to the very bottom. As they approached, they painstakingly checked the gaps between each book. However, even this mind-numbingly huge task was accomplished swiftly thanks to the sheer number of familiars. With the speed of a gust of wind, they carefully checked every nook and cranny. There was no way to hide from this green sun. That would have been as foolish as trying to hide from water in a sinking ship. Will we be able to hide until they pass us? No. At this rate, we'll be found no matter where we go. Battler was just about to leap out from the shadows, but Lambda Delta grabbed him by the collar an instant before. Are you thinking of fighting? No, but when we found it, we just stand here. So we have to move forward. We need to reach the key as soon as possible. You really think there won't be cats guarding the key? We'll just be pinched between them. We already are. I believe in Aunt Ava. She's the one who guided us this far. I'm sure she took care of the guard cats too. I agree. If we're going to be found out anyway, let's try and get there as fast as possible and grab the key. If we can just do that, no one will be able to open the book. So you'll rush in there and grab the key, and then what? That place is a dead end, right? You'll realize there'll be nowhere to run, don't you? We know that, but the key will be our trump card. It's vitally important to Burncastle, too. If worse comes to worse, we might be able to use the key as a bargaining chip. Bargaining with Burn? You're insane! But if we hide here, we'll definitely be found. In that case, I'll take a bet on that 1,000,000,000 to 1 chance. We'll get the key and have that be our trump card. So, you're praying for a miracle to win against the Witch of Miracles. Picking a winner at astronomically bad odds. That's the Ushiramiya family's magic. Oh my god, that's so fucking cheesy, Battler. Okay. I've got good eyesight, so let me enlighten you. Can you see those magic circles around the golden key? That's a simple barrier, but a pretty strong one. It'll break if you just touch it. It's a trap. But it's sort of annoying seal that'll take exactly 1 hour to fade, whether a great witch or a lowly human does it. It's still over an hour before the ceremony begins. In other words, we won't be able to touch the key unless we can buy time for a whole hour. When Aunt Ayla took out the guard cats, she must have broken the magic circle too. It probably won't take an hour. As far as I can see, the magic circle is still intact. Sorry to say it, but even if Ava did touch it, it was less than an hour ago. Well, that's an hour. At least we know we can grab it if we manage to stick around that. Yeah. Sure, let's play tag for an hour. I'm used to getting chased around by thugs. You two are really out of your minds. You're really planning to play tag against Burn and all her cats. If there's even a 1% chance, you can be certain that we'll grab it. The difference between an enthusiasm between the siblings who had everything to lose and Lambda Delta was immense. However, Lambda Delta was no coward. She was a great witch of the Senate. If she surrendered, she wouldn't be able to escape severe punishment, but she would be forgiven after a few hundred years. Why would she, after being thrown into a stormy sea while clutching a buoy that could save only her, decided to throw that buoy away. No living person could be as determined as those siblings, who were already fighting for their lives. No one could blame them. You poop are really stupid. You know that? Oh well. Why don't I tell you about a plan that's got a bit more than a 1% chance of working? How does that sound? The two siblings looked at each other while I put on my chapstick, which I should have put on 20 minutes ago. Okay. However, they both thought that the plan would... Oh, fuck me. However, they both thought that any plan would be worth listening to, even if it would only raise their chances by 0.0000001%. A sacrifice. Fern is a cat. She'll chase, flee, and prey, but she'll also kill prey that doesn't flee. And only after toying with it first. Cats are terrible people. Still, if that's true, it'll be worth betting on. Let's have one sacrifice. We'll decide with rock, paper, scissors. Whoever loses has to go taunt Burn, then gets laughed at and killed, all to buy as much time as possible. Does that work for you? I wonder what rock, paper, scissors shit Lambda Delta would pick. Miss Super Paper. No need for rock, paper, scissors. I'll do it. You two go on to the key room. Go to the key room. No way, Oni-chan. I'll do it. This is all my responsibility. I was the one who listened to Burn Castle and trusted her, so I got a thing or two to say to her. Both Battler and Angie decided to be the sacrifice and wouldn't listen to the other. See? You'll need rock, paper, scissors to decide, right? If you don't act quickly, we won't have a chance to use this plan. They'll be here any moment. Okay. Either Angie or I will be the sacrifice. Lambda Delta, you'll take whoever's left, steal the key, and take them back to the Golden. I won't let you do it, Oni-chan. Quit joking around. You've got to let me act like a big brother at least once in a while. There's no time! Rock, paper, scissors, single round. I'm super paper, so of course we'll start with that. Got it, you two? Fine. No regrets, okay? 3, 2, 1, paper! It really was a stupid kids game of rock, paper, scissors. Since they promised to start with paper, this was a chance to make a surprise attack and use something else. However, both Battler and Angie chose rock. And yet it wasn't a tie. What? Ooh, wait a minute! Lambda? No, don't sacrifice yourself. But wait a minute. No. Because in addition to those 2 rocks was one person who chose scissors. After staring stupidly at their fists and those scissors, they looked at her. Ah, dang. Well, we were supposed to start with paper, so I figured I'd use scissors and beat you both. I guess I should have stuck with paper. I guess paper should have stuck with paper. There had been no reason for Lambda Delta to join in on the game. This wasn't the time for a joke like that. Battler and Angie, each trying to lose, chose rock. Lambda Delta alone chose scissors. Don't tell me you intentionally. If you die, we can't even get back to the Golden Land. It doesn't count. Well, then you can just use this. When Lambda Delta made a clenched fist, a palely glowing fragment appeared there, and she gave it to the pair of them. Battler had seen one of these before. It was a magic fragment, like the one Erica had used before disappearing, which would allow one to cross the sea of fragments. With that, you'll be able to return to the Golden Land. And anyway, I'm the best person for the job. You two probably wouldn't last a handful of seconds against Burn. If it's me, not only will an hour be no problem, but who knows, I might even win. And I owe her one. I've got to make this my victory and even the score. Still, away games are such a pain. Lambda Delta pretended to complain as she stood up straight. Anyway, see you in a bit. I guess a show-off like me couldn't stick to being a spectator after all. Sorry for stealing your time to shine. It's sad that I won't be able to watch your game until the end, but I've already been shown the script, so I'm not missing anything. Lambda, then, with her broadest smile and a wink. This is your happy ending. I've already figured out what happens next, so there's no need to watch. I'll see the two of you again. In the credit roll of your happy ending, that is. Wait! Lambda Delta snapped her fingers and the two of them turned into Compay-2 candies. She picked them up, took aim at the glint of the golden key, and flicked them away. That way, they should be able to reach the key without Berncastle noticing. Dang, what terrible luck. What are the odds of both of them playing against a rock against a... Dang, what terrible luck. What were the odds of them both playing a rock against my scissors? Yeah, I know. It wasn't nice of me to test you like that. Sorry, you two. And then, Lambda Delta's body was lit up by an emerald green light. When she turned around, the cat's eyes and Lambda Delta's met. Lambda Delta grinned and waved. There was a fierce roar and several bright flashes. Come on, Lambda! A chain of explosions flashed by, one after another, enveloping Berncastle and her pack of familiars in an instant. They were multicolored fireworks, or rather, multicolored candy, that burst with a flash and scattered everywhere. Countless stick candies, sugar sculptures, cookies, and tarts flew in every direction. Each one of those split and exploded into hundreds of candies, each of which exploded again into a cloud of Compay-2. However, these sweets weren't sweet. The Compay-2 was heavier than lead, harder than steel, and sharper than any blade. As the colorful cloud exploded outwards, it blasted the entire pack of cats into little bits. Recursive Compay-2 grenade! The emerald green glints were scattered everywhere and sparkled like the night sky. And among them danced a cloud of pretty candies that looked like they'd go well on a Christmas tree. It was sufficiently outrageous and beautiful and cute to mark the Great Witch Lady Lambda Delta's appearance on the scene. Sup, bitches! Oh, if it isn't Lambda. I was hoping to meet you in the party hall. I love you, bud. Isn't whispering of our love all the better if we're alone? I'll be happy to hear it after I've plucked off all your limbs. With a jerk of her chin, Byrne ordered her familiars to attack. I'm 3 apples tall, Lambda. Better watch the fuck out. This is my dearly beloved and my only friend in the world. Her arms from the elbow down. Her legs from the knees down. You can chew those up however you please, but not a scratch anywhere else. What the fuck is that? What the fuck? The crowd of cats undulated again, reformed into a single mass, and became the emerald green leviathan that would swallow up any poor victims who snuck into the city of books. It was shaped like an impossibly vast whale. However, would it look like a whale from Lambda's perspective? She probably couldn't see anything except an immense mouth about to swallow up everything.
Ah, simply wonderful. I'm about to be overwhelmed by Byrne's love, aren't I?
I do love you, Lambda. Once your limbs are gone, I'll skewer you through your butt and hang you by my bed. Every morning, I'll give you a good morning kiss, and every evening, I'll kiss you goodnight. Sounds great. Then I'd better wrap you up in my lovely coat. However, Lambda Delta's war cry was swallowed up by the glowing, writhing Leviathan in a single bite. Yes, you are wonderful, Lambda. I love that empty-headed way you just do things without looking ahead and worrying about your own life. At the same instant that Lambda Delta was swallowed and Burncastle was sure of her victory, the latter felt a slight breeze playing with her hair. The countless sweets that Lambda Delta had set flying like fireworks, and which drifted about like the decorations at a Christmas party were lump. No, they were converging on a single point. It was like watching a firework run backwards. Countless sweets rapidly contracted around the vast, closed mouth of the Leviathan. A gigantic reverse explosion concentrated on a point inside it. Or perhaps it was more like countless candies showering the Leviathan from all directions like bullets. Inside that mass of green was a black swirl. That swirl was on a palm. On the palm of Lambda Delta, who wore a defiant smile. This is fucking sick. I love Umineko. This is so fucking cool. It was a mass of supergravity. All of the sweets, the cats, the whale, and everything else was being sucked into that one point and crunched. She's doing her fucking super bomb. This is my super bomb. My spirit bomb. I'll hold you tight. Get over here, Burn. Trying to suck me in? It should be mandatory reading. All of the candies Lambda Delta had scattered were getting sucked back into the black hole in her palm at unbelievable speeds. The reverse explosion of the oncoming candy whittled away at the Leviathan, crushing it inwards. Lambda! Come on, let me give you a hug. With all of her strength, Burncastle held her ground in midair, trying to resist this super gravity. For the first time, all trace of condescension had left her face. Naruto for intellectuals. Even Lambda Delta's cocky expression was marred by the sweat trailing from her forehead. This is good fan service. Because their power was so overwhelming, any victory would have to be instantaneous. If either relaxed in the slightest, they would match each other's strengths and get dragged into another dizzyingly long fight that could last for centuries. Neither of them had any desire to go through that again. So neither of them showed the slightest mercy for their most beloved friend. By now, the Leviathan had been completely crushed and compressed inside the black hole. Burncastle was the only one still holding her ground. However, a windstorm of candy asteroids like the asteroid belt repeatedly slammed into Burncastle, wearing away at her girl's form bit by bit. Gotta get away, or the thing flying into Burncastle's range of vision was a comet pelting straight for her with a massive present box at its core and a cloud of candy surrounding it.
Lambda! You're on my body!
The candy comet wiped out Burn Castle along with her scream. It burst into little bits, and within a blink of an eye, it was sucked back into a hole of supergravity. Once it was all gathered into one place like a gem, it began to spin rapidly. Damn, Lambda Delta is really just putting Burn in the fucking like spin cycle right now. Okay. It was flattened by the centrifugal force, turning into something whose shape resembled a galaxy. After swallowing all of the cats and their master, it now looked like a wiggling, flickering, emerald green galaxy that floated just above Lambda Delta's palm. The pocket of supergravity kept compressing it further, until, at the end, it had become a single green, shining Konpei. Then it fell down onto her outstretched palm. Is she gonna eat it? Is she just gonna fucking, like, vor Burn? That'd be really fucking weird. No, please don't do that. Sorry, Burn. I wanted to play with you always, so I've always taken it easy and pretended to be in a pinch. Lambda Delta held the Konpei above her head and peered at it. But the truth is, I'm just impossibly strong. Sorry about that. Then she pressed the Konpei to her pink lips, gave it a light kiss, and bit down. This doesn't taste like Burn. Lambda Delta licked her fingertips, then turned to face the empty air behind her. Tastes like cats. I already knew. My beloved Lambda.
Oh, I love you too, Burn.
Liar. I knew that you never took me seriously. In that case, let's love each other for you. Both of us. Seriously. I do love you, Lambda Delta. I'm happy. So happy.
Ah, I do love you too, cats. I'll turn you into candy and cuddle you with my tongue. Forever.
No matter who wins, our love will never fade. That's wonderful. Just wonderful. Okay, let's love each other right now. With a crash, crack lines appeared across the sky of the Golden Land. Then, finally, the barrier of the Golden Land was breached by the fleet's assault. It was a bizarre scene, more ridiculous than anything anyone had imagined. This shit is fucking crazy. This is just non-stop action, action, action. The sky of the Golden Land shattered like glass, and a fleet of sailboats flew in, one after another. They were crowded with goats pushing each other and spilling off the sides.
Come, let us begin.
No.
This is the Golden Land's final banquet.
Okay, that's awful. This is the Golden Land's final banquet. A banquet. It wasn't some fancy metaphor, but a simple statement of fact. The overwhelming surge of goat troops came in like a tsunami. The residents of the Golden Land, who stood defiantly, were like a forgotten sandcastle on a beach. A fight between a wave and a sandcastle is not a fight. This was a banquet for the oncoming Vikings at a stand-up meal, the voracious, merciless goats. There's no way around it. Fire! Good. Come, goats, bring destruction to all that has form, stillness to all that moves, despair to all who live. Okay, Erica. All those who could use magic fired it off at once. With a shout like a thunderclap, the goat tsunami rushed forward. Everything collided at once, and there was a brilliant and terrible explosion. She can totally shadow step. Sparks and smoke, flying splinters and screams. For just an instant, the fierce magical cannonballs fired by Beato, Virgilia, and the Chester Sister Corps seemed to halt the goat tsunami in its tracks. However, their numbers were so great that they didn't even flinch. The goat wave continued to walk over the corpses that had been blasted away, or which had fallen to their knees in weariness. The mound of corpses piled up, and still more goats were shot down as they tried to cross it. So that, in a few seconds, it really was tall enough to be a tsunami. Pitiful! This golden land you built is nothing more than a sandcastle some kid left on a beach. Be swallowed up and disappear. Perhaps you should liken it to ripples beating meaninglessly against a wharf. A sandcastle getting swallowed by a wave. Just you try swallowing my castle. Oh my god. They're back! Beato lifted her hands, telling the pair of battle towers that had been hidden deep in the ground that the day of glory had come again. The goat tsunami looked up at it in shock. After all, this time, the tsunami that lowered over everything wasn't them. Fire! A thunderstorm of rapid-fire ballista rounds leapt from the battle tower gun ports. The goats let out a confused scream at the furious tempest that was bearing down on them. They are her ult, I guess. Like, damn, it works still. However, they saw something else, too. Gungnir! Gungnir! They're dropping Gungnir on their ass. However, they saw something else too. In the sky, high above the tower, was a reaper astride a divine horse and backdropped by the moon. I love the word astride. A massive spear the size of a tower in its hand. Yeah, like she... Yeah. I just got, like, if she was in a MOBA, that would be, like, her thing. The Umineko MOBA. The Great Witch sitting on the horse by the Reaper spoke. Welcome back. This world does not belong to you. Do it, teacher! The heavenly spear pierced the ground. For an instant, it looked like some divine tower was sticking out of the ground. However, that was the very last thing those eyes ever saw. The sacred spear was the embodiment of heaven's wrath, and the strength to bury an unclean city in a single stroke was unleashed upon the pack of goats. With a massive explosion that resembled a volcanic eruption, goats were sent flying all over the place. Not bad. I guess they really are witches.
But is it enough? The enemies keep on coming. It looks like we'll be the ones swallowed up after all.
At least you two seem to be enjoying yourselves. Please just shoot them, Kyrie. Just fucking shoot them.
How could one fail to enjoy such a festival? It seems our time in the limelight shall not be stolen from us after all. Looks like it. I'm all fired up.
Yes, the crowd of goats truly was like a wave pressing in from the sea. You might be able to split a ripple on the beach with your feet. You can't split the sea. Witches could. However, that meant the other side also had someone who could split seas. Suddenly, smoke poured from one of the two towers, and the ground shook as it crumbled. What the hell happened? Over there! On top of the other tower! Erica! But of course, it is your turn now, is it not? Arr! At the top of the other battle tower, Erica stood gracefully, wielding her scythe. I'd say that's enough to show the witches of the Golden Land proper respect. All magic is fake. It's just a fantasy sandcastle that'll always vanish when mystery swallows it up. Playing witches was pretty fun, though. I think I remember playing something like this with some older girls from the neighborhood when I was younger. So let's bring this to an end. Now it's time to hear you scream. Erica threw that pretentious pirate hat that she had been wearing this whole time into the sky. With the moon behind it, Erica's form, her after-image, vanished from the tower's peak.
Where is she?
We have her on radar! She's on the left side of the tower! What the fuck is this art? Oh my god. Shaking with a wild, joyous laughter, Erica dashed straight down the tower. Damn, that's fucking so cool. They're really putting a lot of new art in the end here. It's so cool. I love it. She swung her scythe like a baton, and as she passed along the tower's wall, its gun ports, walls, pillars, and everything else was crushed, leaving a trail of smoke. So, from the sidelines, it looked as though a line of smoke suddenly split the tower top to bottom. The golden arrows of the Chester Sister Corps chased after Erica like golden threads in a sewing machine. You haven't seen that one in a while. You monster! Oh wait, which one's 410? I don't remember at this point. Oh, you monster! Get yourself sewed and embroidered. Yeah. Good. Good, good, good. Even the golden arrows couldn't catch up with Erica. Finally, Erica reached the bottom of the battle tower and empty cartridges were ejected from the golden bows. Burst. Useless. Isn't that the phrase? Erica, who had now landed on the ground, slowly stood up and tapped the tower behind her with the handle of her scythe. That tiny tap cut the final string that held the tower together, and the whole thing fell in on itself with an earth-shattering crash. Once again, the dark tsunami rumbled forward through the rubble and smoke. I am Furudo Erica, Witch of Truth. This moment marks the dismantling of the Golden Land by truth. Dust to dust, illusions to illusions. I'll end your daydream for you. Come, try and remember ghosts. Remembered how you died so long ago. The goat tsunami swallowed everything up. When she saw them sink under this black sea of goats, Erica guffawed from atop the debris of the tower. Come on now, kill them! Massacre them all! Cut off all their heads and stick them on spears! Ghosts of 1986, the time has come for the whirlpool of truth to swallow you whole and erase you. So long. Umineko no naku koro ni chiru. Nocturne of Truth and Illusions. Holy fucking smokes, what a chapter. Jesus. I gotta go fucking pee, gang. Let's just like let the next scene load first. Load? Okay, it's super chill. I'll be right back. There's my mic. Back in the fucking Sea of Fragments, or whatever. No, wait, back in the regular key room. It's all fine. Ava had broken the magic circle around the key beforehand, after all. Whoops, fuck. Ow. Just trying to grab my fidget toy. By the time Battler and Angie had reached it, it was falling apart like sand in an hourglass. I was probably gonna stream like another hour. Why? Like, I was probably gonna try to finish one more chapter and I'd probably call it. Like the whole game? There's only like 3 or 4 hours left. Okay. Maybe I should stream tomorrow then. Maybe I should do a Friday stream and just finish Umineko. I'll think about it. Maybe tomorrow, yeah, maybe I should just stream tomorrow. Or Saturday would be good too. Yeah, I think, you know what, I might do it Saturday then. Because I don't have work Saturday. Okay, yeah, that's gonna be official. The final tea party, Saturday. At like, I don't know. Whenever, like midday, I don't know. Midday, like afternoonish. So that'll work fine. They tried punching and kicking it to make it break faster, but nothing they did hastened the process. It looks like she broke it a while ago, but it'll probably take some time before it's gone. Just a bit longer, I think. If you could just buy time for 5 minutes. Judging by the speed the magic circles were crumbling and the general appearance of the whole scene, it looked like it would be over soon. However, right now, could even 5 minutes be considered soon? They turned around. Is that the line, really? Beyond the bookshelf ravine was a universe. Even for Battler, who had seen Beato's fights many times over. The battle between Lambda Delta and Burn Castle was so mind-defying that he couldn't think of a single word to describe it. When he finally managed to find a word, it was a universe. Each time a battle between Lambda Delta and Burn Castle unfolded, a universe was created between the pair of them. Big bangs would take place, universes would be created, galaxies beyond number would be born and erased. Then, just when it seemed that a big crunch had occurred and that the universe had met its demise, there would be another big bang and another universe would be created. It was like watching gods playing. The two witches created and destroyed worlds over and over again. Almost as though two creators were fighting to prove that their universe was the right one. If you let your guard down in the slightest, then just watching this would steal your soul. That's how it felt. We'll be able to get the key back any second now. Then it'll be possible to go back to the Golden Lane with the fragment Lambda Delta gave us, right? Go back as soon as you get the key. I can't leave Lambda Delta on her own. Just fucking leave, Battler. It's fucking Lambda, dog. You're going to jump into that fight? Can't leave her on her own. Their fight may defy common sense, however, they're perfectly and evenly matched. So, if anyone jumps in, even a single weak human like me, something might break. A perfect balance maintained by the two great powers can easily break by adding even a little strength to one side. However, actually rushing in there to add that little bit of strength would be literally suicidal. Like a moth flying into a furnace. It might even burn up before it reaches it. I'll do a tweet about the final tea party too. So it'll be super chill. Once you get the key, go straight back to the Golden Ring. We don't know how long they can hold out, remember? I can't go back alone, not when everyone else is fighting. I feel like the fight in the Golden Land is a little more important than the fight with Lambda and Burn. That's right, this is your fight, so fight. I know you regret not dying with everyone else, but you've got to overcome that feeling and live in the future. That's what you decided to do, right? Angie had no words to respond with. Her brother and everyone else would probably die. So she wanted to die in the same place and at the same time as everyone else. However, that could not be allowed, so she mustn't wish for it. She had already made up her mind. Hold up. She had sworn to live in the future without turning back to look at everyone's deaths. When you go back to the Golden Land, show the key to Beato. Beato will show you 2 doors. Then she'll give you an easy puzzle and tell you to open one of them. That's the last game on my game board. 2 doors. Of the 2, one will lead you to the future. Don't worry. I'm sure you won't choose the wrong one now. Also, once you go through it, don't turn back until the door closes. Why can't I turn back? When the door closes, you won't be able to see our fate anymore. In other words, we'll be shut inside the cat box. A fate inside a cat box is endless truths. That's right. We might have lost pathetically, or we might have made a miraculous comeback and survived. In other words, if you, the Witch of the Future, are sent into the future without witnessing the end of our conflict, we'll still have a chance at victory. However, if you keep looking at us, you'll see when we get annihilated. That'll put the odds of our defeat at 100%. So, to give us a miraculous victory, you must not turn back once you go through that door. Got it? Yeah. So I'll go and help Lambda Delta. If you go back to the Golden Land after seeing me walk off like a hero, that's how my story will end for you. The end of your battle will be sealed in the cat box, so you certainly won't lose. Exactly. So don't look back. You'll have the key soon. You've got to go back to the Golden Land, like your life depends on it. So real quick, I have one message for the you of the future. Don't forget it and engrave it onto your heart. Okay. No matter what happens, never abandon the hope that keeps you alive. All of us are always behind you. If you just believe, we can even speak to you. Believe it. If one thing is certain, it's that miracles happen when you believe. At that moment, Lambda Delta and Burn Castle were wrapped in a massive explosion. Surely, one of them had delivered a powerful blow. There were no further explosions, so that strike must have decided the match. When the smoke clears, who will be left standing? The magic circle sealing the key still needed several minutes to dissolve. Are you still there, my beloved Lambda Delta? All that came into sight was Burn Castle. There was no answering voice from Lambda Delta. Is Lambda dead? If this was a sign of her victory, it did not cause Burn Castle's expression to grow any brighter. Too bad, Lambda. And I thought we'd be able to build a universe together. It's too bad. Really too bad. Burn Castle was still focusing all her nerves on the battle, so she took no notice of Battler and Angie by the key. However, she would probably notice soon. And then there would be nowhere to run. The last section of the magic circle was starting to fade away. However, almost cruelly, the final circle went slower than the rest. Seeing that, any hopes that it would dissolve in a minute, or maybe a few dozen seconds, were crushed absolutely. Battler readied himself. Well, this fight probably won't work out as well as the last one, but looks like I'm up now. Oni-chan. You're great, Angie. I'm proud that you didn't try to stop me. With tears still pouring down her face, Angie lovingly rubbed her cheek against the hand that had been patting her head. Aww. I've gotta gather the kitties again. I thought Battler would be with her, but I don't see him for some reason. And after all, one guy like him would be about as annoying as a pebble in my shoe. The smoke cleared completely, and they saw a huge cloud of candy bits floating around, like it was Lambda Delta's corpse. A star-shaped cookie bounced off on Berncastle's head. It was missing one of its points, giving it a lonely feeling. Lambda Delta, live with me. We'll become a single universe with you inside of me. Berncastle chewed the cookie and swallowed it. This way.
We'll always be together. I love you, Lambda.
Me too, Bang. Berncastle's stomach suddenly swelled like a balloon. It was Berncastle lore. The bulge rose from her stomach to her throat, then exploded like a firework from her mouth. They literally, Lambda Delta literally small bombed Berncastle. Hold the fuck on. She literally small bombed her. From Berncastle's mouth spewed fireworks, sparks, fragments of candy. You really should fix those habits you've had since you were a cat. Here's a hint. If you find a piece of candy lying on the ground somewhere, don't pick it up and eat it. Vor for vor. Berncastle doubled over even more, still spitting up an exploding firework. The birth of a small universe from that sweet had hit her directly from the inside of her stomach. Even Berncastle couldn't withstand that. It's like eating a really friggin' spicy pepper. As Berncastle repeatedly vomited fireworks so violently that it seemed her guts would spill out, her body flickered in and out of existence, and she glared at Lambda Delta with a terrifying expression. Her body was flickering because she had taken so much damage that even maintaining her form was now difficult. She flew up. She flew up. How slovenly, Bern. Your body's falling apart. You know, I sort of felt like losing for a bit. But I changed my mind. If I became a single universe with you, you wouldn't whisper to me of no love anymore.
True. I'm not the food of this. Let him me caught.
That's what she sounds like when she's vomiting fireworks and talking at the same time.
I know. That's why you shine so beautifully. You'll lead someone on, but never actually dote on them. Just like a proud queen of cats.
I'll turn you into a cardboard box and make you my scratching post. And I'll make you into a shamisen. Get bored after plucking one string, and then put you in a cupboard and let the dust pile up on you. The goat tsunami had swallowed up everything, but sea spray was still flying about. The reefs resisted the ocean that was trying to cover them, and there were smashing waves left and right. The Seven Sisters of Purgatory and the Inquisitors of Heresy specialized in close-range combat and were rapidly building a mountain of corpses. The witches fought hard too, but they would have preferred to fight at a distance if they could. Illusions alone wouldn't be enough. In these battle conditions, all of the humans were thrust right into the center of the fight. Everyone in the Yoshira Miya family displayed a fighting spirit equal to the witches and guarded their backs. Even humans are not powerless. They have guns. I love this. I love freaking Kairi one-handing the gun like a fucking badass. If the goats supported fantasy, they could use these as the ultimate anti-magic weapons. If the goats supported mystery, they could use these in a much more obvious way. Those 45 long Colt bullets delivered fatal wounds to each and every goat they struck.
Just die already! How long are you gonna resist? Give up and sink, Usiramiya! Telling an Usiramiya to think makes him fly. Fight all the harder. Little girl, you have no idea what the Usiramiya family is.
You were dead before 1986, weren't you? It's about time you stopped moving, cramps. Erika's razor-sharp scythe buried itself into Kinzo's chest. It dug straight into his heart, with a daring smile on Kinzo's face didn't even falter.
Was my death ever witnessed by anyone outside the cat box? I am indestructible, indestructible!
A punch containing the entirety of Kinzo's last spark of life sent Erika flying. Bye, Kinzo. Father, are you okay?
Overcome my corpse. The Usiramiya family never turns back.
As Erika tried to deliver the finishing blow, Kraus stepped in between them, blocking the way. I will be your opponent in Father's place. Oh, if it isn't the incompetent investing expert. It's pretty impressive how you managed to find all the worst bets, losing your money so quickly. And yet, even I remember to tie my shoes. Huh? Did he just do a fucking got your nose to like freaking uppercut her? Erika tried to look down at her feet, but what she saw was Kraus's left fist. Kraus's left uppercut made Erika float in the air, not by magic, but by the simple laws of physics. For an instant, Erika saw the moon. Moon punch! Maybe I was incompetent as an investor. However, any of my college friends will attest to my talent as a boxer. I will not allow you to discredit every part of the Usiramiya family, little girl. You damn small fry.
Canon is an illusion. An illusion created by a lonely Jessica.
At the school festival, I introduced Canon-kun to everyone. Saku and Hina and everyone else. All of my friends can testify to that. Don't make assumptions about our relationship based on your own imagination. Gray eyes, Jessica. Watch the fuck out. Jessica's body made a blow. Jessica's body blow made the goat's massive body cave in. Okay, that's not good writing. Massive you used the word body twice in the same sentence. Come on. Okay, splendidly done. To think that you could wield such power in a tight spot like this. Well, of course. After all, I'm thinking I don't really care if I die. This is the first time we've worked together. You at my back. Too bad it isn't cutting the cake. Aww. Jessica laughed embarrassedly. She looked even more relaxed than she had on stage at the school festival. We have plenty to cut here besides cake. You always trying to sound so cool. Oh, but that's what I like about you. The massive bodies that rushed at them, trying to deny their relationship in their very existence, had two choices: be sliced or be struck. Each time one of those bodies hit the floor, it became proof that the two of them existed.
Shannon is an illusion. George is an antisocial shut-in. Their love is an illusion and doesn't exist.
George-sama, look out! I think that goat's spitting facts. The goat's log-sized fist buried itself in George's face. This was the middle of a massive, confused battle. There was no way to dodge an unexpected attack like that. What? An antisocial shut, huh? Very well. Say what you wish about me. George had indeed been hit with a fist, right in the center of his face. However, he didn't bend over backwards, not even an inch. The goat started to wonder what it was he had hit. Hadn't he punched a human made of flesh? It was as though he had slammed his fist into a steel wall, and it was his fist that was hurting. However, the goat was too scared to move his fist from George's face. After all, if he did, the expression on that face would probably be too terrifying. George pressed his hand against that fist. You probably could get testimony from my old classmates from school. Yes, I was an antisocial person. However, there's one more thing I'll tell you. Something far more important. George was only grabbing the goat's massive fist in his tiny little hand. However, that fist was being crushed as though it had a vice around it. Even though the other hand was tiny, the goat couldn't even move its fist. Ushiramiya George never fought for himself, no matter what happened to him. He was a coward who ran away from all threats. Everyone would tell you that. However, they won't tell you that he never got into a fight. I accept the fact that someone as pathetic as me would be bullied. However, you're not him, George. Shut the fuck up. Never have I let anyone provoke or challenge anyone who treated someone as pathetic as me. Like a friend. The goat's broken teeth flew through the air. George's furious feet split the heavens.
Trying to approach George for his mark.
A goat's filthy finger touched Shan. Ew! That finger exploded and boiled away. My love for George-san. George-san is true and pure. George-san must have kept all the letters I wrote him. Read those, and you'll have your proof.
You can write anything in a letter. The contents of a letter are no proof of true love.
A blazing red light charred the goat's entire body. Shannon slowly turned around, her face full of rage and contempt. That is true, none of that was red. Pitiful spectator, ignorant of love. You have no right to read a mystery, much less a person's heart. Disappear. An absolute barrier rose up around Shannon, burning up the goats around her within its flames. Yeah, maybe we are dead, but that doesn't give anyone the right to criticize us. No one can deny the love that Maria and Mama shared. Maria smiled, showing her teeth, and performed her job without even looking at her hands. Isn't Maria a witch too? Then, she tossed the fully loaded rifle straight up into the air. R perv B? Really? I can't believe I had to freaking enable that again. Come and get some. Look at fucking Rosa like a badass here. Damn. Rosa, who stood back to back with Maria, caught it without turning around. Oh my god, that's so fucking cool. No, that wasn't all. Maria had passed the gun to her mother perfectly without even looking back. Rosa's head was pointed at the ground as she stroked the frigid trigger with her index finger. Oh my god, it is fucking sick. If any of you doubt the love for my daughter, step forward. The crowd of goats, cowed by Rosa's furiosity, didn't get any closer to her. Then I'll deny it. Being the serial cheater you are, you were always off playing around with some man, leaving Rhea all alone. Nothing like that is written anywhere in Maria's diary. You should know better than anyone else. Rosa didn't love you. She was a crappy mother who even regretted giving birth to you. Erica was peering at the unfeeling moon, the taste of metal in her mouth. For a moment, she didn't realize what was happening. Was that cold feeling on her back the ground? Yeah, Rosa when she sees a child to be. Erica, remind me, how old are you again? I'm 16. Oh, 16 you say. Huh? Why am I lying down? And wasn't the moon full? Why isn't it now? Come to think of it, my teeth hurt. There's something cold and hard there. Then she figured it out. She was lying sprawled on the ground with a gun barrel shoved into her fucking mouth. And the thing splitting the moon was the angry king of wolves protecting its child. The gun barrel exploded inside her mouth, shattering her medulla? Medulla? I don't know. Oblongata. I don't really know anything about anatomy, unfortunately. But it was only her after image. What a terrifying woman you are. Are you really human? Erica, who had escaped death the last moment by leaving an after image, found a metallic flash right before her eyes, which had been there before she even reappeared. The fountain pen went right through Erica's eye, crushing it. Of course, that was another after image. However, when Erica escaped and reappeared somewhere else, a heel was already there waiting for her. From the goat's perspective, several after images of Erica seemed to be appearing at once, all of which were pierced by Rosa at the same time. That's so fucking cool. This music is so fucking good too. If you say that again, I'll have to get serious. Mama's really strong. Rosa gets a speed buff if her opponent is underage. You don't want to know what George's buff is, Eric. It's much worse than that. What the hell? And so, Erica couldn't reappear anymore. At the very least, not within Rosa's range of attack. Erica put a lot of distance between her and Rosa, reappearing in midair. What are these people? What the hell? Erica's animal instincts made her turn her head slightly to the side just in time. Where her head used to be, there was an odd shower of sparks. It wasn't magic. It was a real physical phenomenon caused by lead smashing against lead. To think that two bullets shot from different angles could have flown with impossible precision where her head once was. So that both of them hit and bounced off each other like billiard balls. This would be like such a cool, like, I could imagine the cinematography here, like the 3D shot of the bullets meeting each other, like some Matrix shit. God, they really need to remake an Umineko anime. It's so fucking there. So close.
Sorry about that. We're big fans of the whole take the boss at first strategy, you see.
Clay pigeons are a specialty. Flying along in a straight line probably isn't a good idea. The two of them spun their rifles in exactly the same way at exactly the same time, reloading them in a manner that put old westerns to shame. Then pointing them back up at where Erica was in the sky. You monsters! Once again, their accurate shots plunged through the forehead of Erica's afterimage, bouncing off each other like billiard balls with a shower of sparks. Wait. Okay. I'll wait. Wait for what? Wait. Ooh, wait, does Glenor get a die for death? Does Glenor get a die for death? Because then I'll definitely be turning that shit on. That would be... Wait, why the fuck is my monitor off? Come on, turn back on monitor with Twitch chat on it. I need a new fucking power cord. Okay. If I see Glenor, I'll turn on the voice acting. Because I was looking for it last episode, but I didn't get it. This time, Erica appeared far behind them. She had to admit it. She had been forced to escape to a place outside the range of those guns fired by humans. Then, the light from the moon was blocked. The place she had fled so rapidly exploded, sending chunks of rubbish flying. A massive longsword had been plunged into the ground. It was Glenor's.
このバカが。
おや、私のお友達じゃありませんか。
She had dodged by a hair, but this bulky, brutal longsword was more than of a cannonball shaped like a sword than something for cutting with. Even though she dodged it, a blast of air pressure made her eardrums throb. Glenor was serious. She seriously intended to smash Erica to bits.
どうしたんです？怖い顔しちゃって。もう少し可愛い顔ができればいいのに。
You're one to say that, Erica. Really?
楽しいですか。人の夢や幻想を打ち壊すのは。
楽しいに決まってるじゃないですか。それこそが知的蹂躙の醍醐味でしょうが。
あなたは邪悪な人です。しかしそれでも同情できる邪悪だと信じていました。
I never thought that.
あんたに同情を頼んだ覚えはありませんが。
あなたを直ちに
This asshole was never worth trusting.
それが今日を招いた私の罪です。
That's so fucking badass. Oh my god. She's so fucking cool. Ah, she's so sick. I honestly think her character design is maybe like one of the worst in the game. Like, I really don't care for her design. But I love this character. Glenor's hair bristled with rage. The sight this expression on one of her old friends pinned Erica to the spot.
我が友よ。
I forget, what even is the bottom half of her outfit? Oh, wait, I don't even think she's on. No, wait, she should be at the other members of the. Oh my god, it's awful. Yeah, I actually doubled down on what I say. Her character design is absolutely one of the worst in the game. What are those? What's up with these pants? You know what she looks like? She looks like she's wearing like a fucking shuttlecock from badminton. That's what her fucking fit is giving. It's giving shuttlecock. My friend.
痛みさえわからぬうちに私があなたを解放しましょう。 あなたがこれ以上の罪を背負わぬようにです。
Oh my god, it's happening. Come on, come on. Come on, give it to me. Please, give me a die to death. Please. The force of anger that welled from Dlanor's whole body struck Erika. Or rather, the swirl of blasting wind from Dlanor's massive longsword sent her flying. The cannonball with a blade repeatedly cracked the ground just after Erika leapt away. So it almost looked as though Erika was jumping backwards, smashing the earth beneath her with each jump. Dude, no. Shit's so over. Friend of mine. No, it's fucking crazy. Oh, she's gonna do it! She's gonna do it! The great longsword split the air again, pulverizing the ground. However, this time, Erika was nowhere to be seen. Where did she escape to? Erika had broken the barrier of the Golden Land, landing on a ship whose bow was barely in sight. No, I don't think we gotta fucking die to death. I'm so sad. Practically speaking, she had run away. Fully aware of this, Erika howled, her face contorted with humiliation. Her shoulders heaved with her breathing, and she forgot how to fix her hair. And she even forgot to fix her hair. The scythe fell from her hand and landed with a crack on the floor. I'm so obsessed. It's like my favorite fucking line delivery. It's so stupid and I love it. Because Umineko is a little goofy. Like, despite all the serious adult themes, this game is fucking goofy. And that's the exact type of goofy Japan shit I need in this game. The scythe fell from her hand and landed with a clank to the floor. That sound brought her back to her senses. Stupid goats! What are you standing around for? Open gun ports. Load concept negation explosive rounds. Disregard aiming procedures. Just fire! The warships that had flown into the Golden Land opened their gun ports one after another, and then they all fired at once in a scattered mess of cannonballs. Oh wait, hold the fuck, here it is. Thank you. Wait, I can't get it to stop. I can't get it to fucking stop. Oh, it's like a soundboard too. Oh, this is too much fun. I gotta stop. It's too much. I'll keep doing it like a freaking like a monkey like on a typewriter. I'm just gonna keep pressing those fucking buttons. I do have a Steam Deck, actually. Oh wait, Stream Deck. Oh, one of those things that like plays soundboards and shit? Yeah. It'd have a button for... And it would just... I would have multiple buttons and it would just be... Oh wait, it's... And then when I'm really mad... Fuck, come on. Come on! Say the line! Fuck it. Okay. Whatever. This is why I was not a Tumblr person. It is fighting me. I just wasn't... I feel like I'm just not Tumblr literate enough to figure that out. The warships that had flown into the Golden Land opened their gun ports one after another, and then they all fired at once in a scattered mess of cannonballs. The hundreds of explosive rounds they fired would negate the concept of anything or person they touched, smashing them into little bits and setting them ablaze with flames. The battlefield full of writhing goats became a fiery hell. Oh my god. A cannonball smashed the arbor. The once beautiful garden maze was burned down bit by bit, and the fleeing gold butterflies were wrapped in flames, burning into nothingness like little scraps of paper. This was no longer a battlefield where two sides fought for victory. It was just a confused, hellish pot of boiling water. Oh wait, also, I don't think I said, I have a lot of viewers tonight, which is really fucking cool. I'm gonna say tea party sometime Saturday, so if you see me streaming Saturday, make sure to bring your hot cup of tea as we finish Umineko. And then I'll start Disco Elysium for next week, and that'll be a thing. Which will take a lot less than this. Like, Disco will be a couple weeks tops. Especially, actually, Disco is gonna be totally different because I know everything. I don't know everything about Disco Elysium. I know a lot about Disco Elysium, and I'll talk about it and like socialism, and it'll be a lot of that. It'll be a lot more political Pier, with my awful takes. I'll be super political, and I'll be talking about a lot of socialist shit. But hopefully, first, it'd be cool if some of my people who follow me from Umineko, not Umineko Twitter, Disco Twitter would say hi. That would be cool. Umineko takes 5 minutes max minimum. This was no longer a battlefield where two sides fought for victory. It was just a confused, hellish... Oh wait, I already read this. The Golden Land was being torn apart. The once beautiful rose garden was filled with explosion craters, and its rose petals were scattered about without pity. There were flying bits of flesh, blood, fangs, jaws, shrieks, and half-crazed screams, and even amidst this hellish swirl, the goats and the dead continued to fight. As seen from atop the boats, this... Oh, what the fuck, a stream boo? Get the fuck out of here. Why won't it let me ban it? What the fuck? Maybe I have to... Oh, enemy spotted. Fuck, it won't let me ban it. Why not? Do I have to just... There we go, fuck. Wait, you're right. Hold on, I'm gonna unban them for a second. I'm gonna unban them again. I'm gonna unban that, and then I'm gonna wait. I sentence you to... Hold up. I sentence you by the Great Senate and the bullshit. And ban. I had to unban the bot and reban the bot for the bit. Oh my god. No, stop. Okay, thank you. Unlimited Glenor, the true golden. She has the true golden magic. And amidst this hellish swirl, the goats... Oh, I love that sentence, by the way. As seen from atop the boats, this was hell without a doubt. All ships, drop anchors! When Erica yelled, the goats on the boats ran around frantically. And one by one, massive anchors hanging by chains were thrown from the ship's bows down into the earth below. Those anchors smashed through not only the ground, but the bottom of the Golden Land itself, digging in with their wedge-shaped tips. Oh, I see what we're doing there. What? Erica? Oh, Beatrice-san. This petal's so huge, it had me worried. I thought I might not be able to find you before the whole thing ended. Beatrice landed on the front tip of the warship, facing off against Erica, who stood on the bow. I really want a fucking duel to the death from these two. You will not be forgiven. I'll finish you myself, right here. Beato jabbed with her pipe. It transformed into a beautifully intricate, oh my god, fucking, okay, golden longsword. Okay, this is so fucking cool. We love it. Very well. That's just what I hoped for. Let's settle this. Erica threw her scythe up into the air. When it returned to her hand, it became a sword similar to Beato's. The nearby goats crowded around Erica, trying to support her. You stay out of this. All of you need to start lifting the anchors. Tear up the Golden Land by its roots. Aye, aye, sir. The goats bowed and rushed to their posts. Several dozen ships had lowered their anchors, digging into the base of the Golden Land. Soon, they were going to try and pull them up, tearing the Golden Land to pieces. Come, Erica. I'll give you the honor of my final duel. This is so fucking cool. Hell yeah. Beato raised her sword, bowed in the ancient fashion, and waited for her opponent. Erica kicked off her shoes violently and slowly walked up to the tip of the boat barefoot. Then, in accordance with Beato's rules, she bowed back. It was a duel on the prow of a ship that pierced the sky. This is so ridiculous. Why the fuck not? Below, the crowd of goats is being blasted away by the indiscriminate cannonballs, burned up and crushed in the panorama of this world's end. By now, it would be stupid to wonder whether anyone from the Ushiramiya family was still alright. Yes, it truly was the end of the world. The end of the Golden Land. Ground to dust, filled with flames. The golden rose garden was burning spectacularly, with bits of fire and golden splashes flying about. The ground creaked as fissures ran through it, through to the base of the Golden Land. All of the ships started pulling up their anchors at once. Crowds of mighty goats used all their monstrous strength to lift them. The anchors that dug into the Golden Land's base spread cracks throughout the entire Golden Land. Not just the ground, but the air itself was filled with cracks, and shards of gold fell down everywhere. The Golden Land's end was adorned with the flames of hell and streaking gold fragments with fiery red and ephemeral gold. Atop the boat's prow, Beato and Erica looked down on this, their swords crossed and sparks flying between them. Now there's one hell of a sight to see. Don't you think it's fitting? The perfect final chapter for your tale. The Golden Land may meet its end. I may perish as well. However, no one can erase the fact that we were here. Angie reached the answer. The Witch of the Future has a mission and hope, and will now soon set off on a new journey. We have already succeeded. Too bad for you, Furudo Erica. This battle ends with our victory. This was a duel between the master of the illusion called the Golden Land and the witch who controlled truth. The earth split behind them. The Golden Land was torn up. The cat box known as the Golden Land was ripped apart, and the nothingness below peeked out through the cracks. The scrambling crowd of goats fell through the gaps and were swallowed by the sea of nothingness. Beato's friends were among them. They helped each other, lent a hand to each other, unwilling to sacrifice anyone until the final moment. Still, what a romantic and fragile illusion is the end of the world. This is really sad. The ground shattered and sank. It fell apart into the ocean of nothingness. None could survive. None could be saved. This was destruction. As the comrades in arms fell into the sea of nothingness, they looked up one last time and prayed. They prayed that the master of the Golden Land would leave proof that the Golden Land had indeed existed. However, Beato didn't look down at them. They wouldn't have wanted her to. This is our Golden Land. I am the endless Golden Witch, Beatrice, and I am here. We may fall, but we will not be defeated. You shall become living proof. I'll carve the proof of our existence into your chest. So long, Beatrice. This marks the end of this stupid, endless game. Fall into hell, you illusion. Damn, I put my Redussy into that. Okay. Lambda Delta and Burn Castle fight. Lambda Delta and Burn Castle's fight to the death had passed through its phase as a dynamic clash of fireworks, and was now a clash that was quiet and motionless. These two witches, who possessed power on an entirely different level. You think? Okay. I was thinking it was one of those things, because Umineko will do like one last cutaway before it's like chapter end. So I was wondering if this was like the end of the chapter, and if I just went like 10 minutes more, it'd be done. But if this is just like a good place to end thematically, just like with the end of that last scene, then that's fine by me as well. Yeah, alright. Well, the final tea party. Will be Saturday. Well, it's gonna be so bittersweet. Umineko! Yeah. It's gonna be bittersweet. We're all gonna... It'll be good and fun, and it'll be a nice, happy, cheery way to end what has been this extremely fun, hilarious monstrosity of an Then you can read Umineko too. Joseph Anderson cried? Now I can finally watch all the Joseph Anderson Umineko shit. Because it was like people on Twitter talking about Umineko and Joseph Anderson's Let's Play that made me curious on what to play Umineko. I'm so glad I got to discover this like super cult, like this is the definition of a cult classic game. I can't think of a game that is just so passionately loved by those who read it. And basically, it's... I doubt I will ever meet another person in my life who has played this game. And that is such a shame. I wish I was I fear I may have no soul. We'll see. We'll see if you guys can get a couple tears out of me. It's gonna be so fucking good. I have like one friend who's interested. It's one of my mods who's never actually here, but just like casually supports this goofy bullshit from afar. He might play it. But he's super smart. So he actually might figure out a lot of these riddles. In the lab, creating a virus. That's... Wow. That's insane. Like, honestly, like, what a cult classic. And I'm basically gonna start recommending everybody who played Disco Elysium to play this game too if they like super deep stories. That was Natsui. Natsui was just would have been such a good like wine mom, Trump hating, like liberal. Like she would have been so fucking good at that. What a hun. Rage bait them into reading it. God, I've definitely got mileage out of these games. It was like $40 for the both of them, and it's my total playtime is going to be about 250 hours. Like I think like 75 episodes of streaming of 75 episodes of streams, but I think like maybe like 73 streams. Yeah, but the thing is, I can't say that because I'm totally hooked on YouTube Shorts. Like, I will sit there and watch my Mickey Mace YouTube Shorts and my Pawn Stars YouTube Shorts. It's awful. Like, this is what saves me from that. Like, it's one of the things I'm trying to do with streaming is play games that I wouldn't normally like allocate for my attention span because I'm too busy either bed rotting on YouTube Shorts or playing EU5, which has totally taken up like 40% of my brain. Like, this has been a very intellectually enriching game. I would definitely consider playing Outer Wilds on stream. Like, that's definitely a game that would be on my list. There was a couple I've pitched. I know I'm definitely doing Disco Elysium again because I think it's a good time in my life to play Disco Elysium. Oh, really? That's gonna be so good. So yeah, games I was thinking about playing, like Disco Elysium. There's that new Disco Elysium-like called Esoteric Ebb. I might give that a shot. I never watched Lost. I'm considering watching it. I was considering Dispatch, but I don't have either of those. Scarlet Hollow was another one I was considering, as well as Slay the Princess. I did hear the ending for Lost is kind of like meh, though. I love Slay the Princess. It is such a like a total Gnostic hellscape nightmare. It's so freaking like fucking what is it? Zarathustra and fucking Ahura Mazda, or like the Demiurge, and like I've never watched Twin Peaks. I only watched the first episode maybe when I was in high school, and I just didn't have the time to watch more. Though everybody I follow on Twitter seems to really enjoy it and talk about it a lot, so it's another thing I need to watch. Also, my sister really likes it. What else was I thinking about playing? I used to stream weirder shit before I got my Twitch partnership. What is it? Oh, not apprenticeship. It's like not partnership. Affiliate. But before I got Twitch affiliate, I did a stream of Wolfenstein: The New Order. I might do the new Colossus. What else was there? This is just me like processing this as we speak. Signalis was one because I didn't finish that and I'd like to start it again. Witch on the Holy Night. I've never heard of that. tale told with vivid colors and rich sound in a classic type of visual novel. Steins Gate's a good visual novel, but I only watched the anime. I'm not good with mechanics. I'm actually really bad at video games, infuriatingly. Like, if you... The real shit is if... Tunic. What's Tunic? Oh gosh. What if I played, I just really like story games too. I wanted to get some more of those. I just kind of want to be like the story game fucker when I stream. I was streaming Kingdom Come Deliverance, but I never finished it because I went on vacation and I just didn't feel like coming back to it. Xenoblade 3. Can you jump in on Xenoblade 3 without having played the like previous ones? Okay. Are those on PC? I thought it was like a console-only game. Oh, yeah, I think it is. Switch only. Whew. My Switch is collecting dust. Though I think my Disco Elysium stream is going to be rad as fuck. I'm really excited for that one. Because I want to try to read some more about like the Paris Commune. Maybe use that to kind of give some historical insight to Revachel's revolution, which is heavily inspired by the Paris Commune. I was reading about it recently in some kind of like publication reflection Kropotkin had wrote. I read it back in September. Alright. Night, Eric. Yeah, I'll wrap up soon too. The reflection. I'm listening to. Okay. I do gotta end soon. Oh yeah. Okay, sorry. I'm getting caught off guard. Caught off track. So his reflection about the commune and about how bad it was really entertaining. I don't remember what he wrote exactly. But just like analyzing how they were not able to get the support of like pretty much anything except the surrounding villages outside of Paris. And how basically because of that, despite there being massive socialist elements throughout the entirety of France, the whole movement just instantly imploded. They didn't stand a chance. I mean, they basically had been fucked up by the whole Franco-Prussian War, and it was free. But just everybody was so fucking beat up and tired. They're like, well, we can't have this commie shit. And that was the start of the, I believe, what is it, the Third Republic or the Fourth Republic? After the dissolution of the Empire. France had a crazy freaking revolutionary element, and a lot of them wrote... A lot of them had, like, fled to Switzerland. I think that's when, if I remember this correctly, this is when they all are part of something called the Jura Commune, where they were like super anarchists for a while. But I think that's when these people all wrote with Kropotkin and La Revolte. I suppose. Alright, well, I gotta go. I'm sleepy. Good night.